Please.
Thanks, sir. Okay, we have some guests from the Boy Scout Troop 101. And take the floor. You guys can fight over who goes first.
We could flip the coin.
Me? We came here today to invite you guys to our 101 Troop Pancake Breakfast. It's February 25th from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And do you have those little... Go pass those down.
Oh, thank you, sir.
This event is hosted at the Auburn Fire Department station.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to let you know, we were already coming.
Alright.
I got one. Thank you. Thank you.
We also want to say thank you so much for your support. We want to thank Chief Phillips for allowing us to be able to use the fire station. As all of you know, it takes a village, and this is definitely a perfect example of that. And so we're looking forward to it. And from what Gene said, we're supposed to have awesome weather this weekend. I don't keep up with the weather because it says it's going to snow and then it rains or it suns or whatever the case may be. But we're super excited. We've worked really hard. We've done a lot of publicity in the local papers. You've seen the road signs that we've put up. We've done a lot of also marketing to the different businesses that have been post our flyers for us. And of course, word of mouth, inviting everybody. So, great opportunity to have a community event, be able to socialize for a little bit over some fellowship and some good food and good times. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's something we look forward to every year, and we always have a really good turnout. And we're kind of glad the way it's worked out because, you know, the fire department did it previously, and in the overall scheme of things of the fire department budget, the pancake breakfast isn't going to make it or break it, but I believe that the funds that we get now that and the Boy Scouts get it, that makes a big difference in their operation. So we're glad we can help with that, and the fire department was glad to be able to pass that over to them and help out. So
We greatly appreciate it because it does make a difference in the fact of summer camp that when we are scheduled to go to Camp Mers in New York in July, that helps with our scouts and their cost of the admission for the whole week. It also helps us when it comes to their various merit badges that they've earned and when they do a rank up. And so please know we will stay in touch because we will be having an Eagle Court of Honor actually on March 17th. So if you wouldn't mind marking your calendars, I'll make sure I let Nancy know at Adam Hall.
Yeah.
And then also, we're gonna have, what is known as a Quarter Honor. Usually we have that at the Auburn Community Park, and that's in August. And I'll let you know that as well. If I could also ask a small favor while I'm thinking of it, if you have a date already for your Auburn Community Picnic, that would be great, because we would love to be able to have a spot there, and the earlier that I know, then the easier it is for me to request the climbing wall.
We've been doing mid-September, but I haven't looked at the Saturdays in September yet, but I can't imagine we do it before Labor Day.
Okay.
and really with the help of the scouts, a lot of the activities that we do have at the fire department now, the 4th of July parade, the pancake breakfast, and the clam bake. Without their help and jumping in and working this, you know, these are things that we might not really have anymore, and so it was really great in the timings for them to come in and help us out and work with the fire department. They work closely, and I've never gotten more compliments on any of the events we had, because I mean, the scouts are all so attentive, and you know, you don't have a dirty fork in your hand, they're cleaning up in front of you, you know, bringing you whatever. So you guys do a really great job, and we really appreciate it.
We couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
If
you have any more, I saw some of the signs around the township. If you have any more, you can surely put one at my daughter's shop in Bainbridge at Hungry Bee. She gets a lot of people in there, and I'm sure you could draw some more people from that area.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
Thank you.
Okay. We also have guests today, residents Mr. and Mrs. Nicastro. Feel free to come up and speak what you want to speak about.
Okay, I've got a little something written, just to discuss something. My husband John and I are here tonight to make sure you are still aware of what is going on Messenger Road, our rural and residential road. I also hope that you're aware of what happened at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting last week, where concerned residents came to object to the variance that was being applied for. And in the end, we were extremely discouraged by what the board decided to do, and that they actually encouraged the applicants to withdraw their variance. We, the residents, were told back in December to be patient and let the process work. But in the meantime, we will show you what the applicants have been able to do. It's hard to stand back and watch this go on and be told to be patient. We were told at last week's meeting that the applicants would have 15 days to vacate everything, inside and out. But now we come to find out that the township has no authority to enforce this. Going forward, and again being told to be patient, we are hoping that the township has and will continue to have the residents' best interests in mind, as we are still extremely concerned about maintaining our wonderful neighborhood as a residential road. Our property is contiguous to the applicant's property, and we have pictures to show how this has progressed over the last 3 months. You will hopefully see why we are so concerned. Just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Okay.
And
Well, we are aware of what's going on. Oh,
Can I approach the bench?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm not gonna bore you long, but just a few pictures, because I know there's been a lot of different information out there. I just want you to at least see objectively what's been going on. The first picture I downloaded from the auditor's site, that's the most recent one I could find, that's from 2021. And it just shows you the makeup of the property and how it's been used. If you go to the next two pictures, and the dates are at the top right, these are the modifications that have been made. They added about a half-acre parking lot, and now it's loaded with landscape and snowplow equipment. Next group of photos are just photos from November, December, January, and February. This is taken from my property near the lot line. Just showing the equipment and the type of use that's being made of this property. And the last picture is the one I took just today. This is standing inside my fenced backyard, and that's the view that we have. So I know that you don't have any active role to play right now. We were informed by zoning that she believed that as of today, she would have this sent up to the prosecutor, but I've been told by...
I don't know.
well, it wasn't sent out today because today's President's Day.
Yeah, it's true. No, it didn't.
But it is going up tomorrow. And I know you've requested a copy of correspondence. One thing we have going on is the request that is going from our zoning department up to the prosecutor may or may not be considered client privileged communication. So we can't let that go out, and what we're doing is, we're asking the prosecutor whether or not that is a privileged communication. If it's not, then we can get you a copy of it. But the gist of it is, yes, we're requesting them, we told them what's going on, the outcome, and requesting the prosecutor's office take action to get the equipment out there. So that's the direction we're going in. Again, it's just the way the system works, and so, we can't just say, have this out tomorrow, because even if we did and they didn't, there's nothing we can do about it.
I understand.
Yeah, we could send the Auburn Police SWAT in there, but we don't have a police department, let alone a SWAT, and we don't have any tow trucks, so.
But understand why we were a little bit discouraged, because we were told at that meeting last week that it would be 2 weeks and everything would be out, and that they would send the sheriff in to handle it, and then we came to find out that that's not actually even
Well,
possible,
you know.
So I guess there were a room full of very concerned residents, and it got a little heated, and I'm sure you probably heard
Well,
about it.
it's understandable.
Yeah, but you can see
you know,
why
sure.
we're very concerned.
Okay, it's not a commercial use, and
Right.
no matter how you look at it,
Right. We just wanted to keep it on your radar and hope that you.
which is why they backed out of it, because I think they, by the end of the thing, they pretty much started writing at the wall, they're not getting a variance,
Right,
so.
right.
It's unfortunate in township government how little power we have. And when Frank was here, I think at our last meeting, and I think he said be patient a few times, because we've been through this before.
I understand.
If we were a city, had ordinances and that, but, and then I heard at the meeting, there were people that were upset because the board didn't actually call for a vote. But even had they called for a vote, they could have rescinded and still bought time, and that's what they're doing.
Right.
They're buying
But you
time.
can see what
I do.
we saw in early December
Yes.
to now, and how they've continued to make it even
Right.
more a commercial property.
You gotta remember, if it had been denied, they'd have 30 days to appeal.
Yeah.
Okay, then they go through the appeal process,
Right.
and they could have dragged this out, so the way it went is, it may not be moving as fast as you'd like it, but, it's gonna move faster than it would have otherwise, so.
Right.
It's always easy to tell somebody else to be patient when it's not them.
Yeah, and when we see day
understand
in and
that.
day out our back door,
Yes.
this is what's going on.
Yeah,
And
this-
they have no consideration for what the people around them.
Yep.
We're looking northeast here, right?
Correct. All right, well, I appreciate you
Yes.
being aware of it,
Yes.
I appreciate your comments, and
Very much.
It's on our radar, we're not
Okay.
gonna let it.
Great, thank you very much.
thank you.
I've got my cell phone numbers on my business card, so if you wanna take one of those, you feel like complaining to somebody during the course of the week, give me a call.
Okay.
I always pick up my phone.
Thanks.
Alrighty, any questions on that particular issue? Report on it.
They did a nice job of presenting.
Hmm?
With the Castor's people that were there, did a nice job of presenting. The residents did a nice job of presenting
At the meeting.
at the meeting. I think if the applicants felt as though they were welcome, they were strongly mistaken. There was not a positive.
I spent many years on the zoning board, it's one of the things I would take most strongly into the decision process is the contiguous property owners. You know, if somebody is, if they're off a foot on their thing and none of the owners come in, the ones that do come in say, yeah, that's great, we don't care. That's one thing, but when you've got everybody on every side coming in and complaining about it, you might be doing something wrong. All right. Move on. We got minutes from the regular meeting of February 5th. Any comments?
Didn't see anything.
Okay.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes.
Okay, scheduled reports, Chief Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. Our calls to date in January. 35 EMS calls, year before that was 54. Fire calls was 32, year before was 36. Total calls was 67, last year was 90. Mutual aid given is 10, last year was 16. Mutual aid received was 5, last year was 5. Total transports is 28, last year was 43. Total non-transports is 11, last year was 17. Total patients is 39, last year was 60. Our multiple calls in January were 29.85%. Last year, or the year before, was 21.11%. Definitely gone up. We had 7 back-to-back calls and 2 triple back-to-back calls, for a total of 9 of them. That's it for my report.
Okay, any questions for Chief Phillips? Okay. Mr. McEwen?
Just a couple things. I talked to Mike down at the road garage, our sexton. We want to make, again, stone hugger that we hired last year. We have that church money, the 75,000. I think at last year's meeting, we allotted 25, 25, and 25. And this year, well, of course, last year, they restored 50 stones for a total of $25,880 in August. They'd like to allocate another $25,000 in 2024, and we should have the ability to do more than 50 because we did a lot of the big ones last year, and so we have a lot of smaller ones now, which we're, so we can do probably closer to 75 stones this year. That would leave about 120 balance for 2025, and that should complete the donation from the Auburn Community Church and have a real good, strong start on taking care of a lot of those stones.
Point out Mark Lewis is here, and Mark was
Heavily
heavily
I was
involved
gonna
in
say, it's a
that.
perfect segue to Mark.
Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna talk about
Topic.
this, and to be quite honest with you, I did stop down there like 3 times, and they're doing it. The gentlemen were doing a very nice job.
They did, they seemed
They
to.
did.
I was very pleased with what I saw. So the money's going, Wimpy would be very, very happy.
That sounds, that makes me happy.
The other, just to add on, the yearly totals from January to December, we had 8 full burials last year. We had 7 ash interments. We sold 8 graves. We installed 10 footers for headstones. And so currently, so far, we have 5 headstones to be installed for this year. So that's pretty much it on that.
Okay, well,
We're gonna need a motion for that. I talked to Mike as
That's what I was
well,
just saying,
because
we-
we wanna get on the schedule, is the whole thing.
yeah, so, would you like to make a motion to allocate $25,000
I'll
to
make that
Stonehugger
motion
for
to allocate
2024?
the 25 for part 2 of the Stonehenge application to work at the cemetery.
And I'll second that.
Mike,
Yes.
TJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. The second thing I'd like to go over is, last year, I asked Nancy about NatureWorks applications that we could use at the park or whatever. And quite frankly, the idea I thought is that we could apply for this money and maybe put in a pickleball court or 2 at the park. But I don't know if you gentlemen saw what Nancy sent us on the bathrooms that didn't need to be hooked up to a sewer. I sent them a text and asked them to send us some information, quotes, and pictures, and maybe that would be a better way to go with that money. If in fact we get it, you can apply for up to $150,000, as long as you have 25% that you can match at the beginning. So these applications have to be in by the June 1st. Nancy told me that PJ was the liaison with the NatureWorks application for Chagrin River,
That was for.
who actually
that was
filled out the
Lillian.
application. So I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow and see where we stand with that, if they're gonna fill out the application for us, and see if in fact we can get some money, but you tell me what you're thinking, but I think
Well,
that bathroom thing would be a way to go, it would be the next step in the
Bathrooms
park.
and pickleball courts are both.
Very much,
They're
yeah,
very viable, but I'd have to go with, what's gonna get used the most? What's gonna serve the most amount of people?
I would say the bathroom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've discussed this, we've kicked around putting bathrooms in there, we did the well with the first batch of
Right.
COVID money, thinking that was the start. And since then, there are no taps remaining,
Right.
and that service line actually stops. It's close to a half a mile maybe to the
Maybe
north.
I'll check with Newberry. According to Nancy, Newberry's already applied for one of these bathrooms in
Right,
their park.
right,
So,
so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the traditional water and
Right.
sewer line hookup
Right,
really isn't gonna be affordable
No.
for a long time,
No.
a long time.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
So,
That's-
like I said, I'm gonna get some information from these guys. I'll get with this lady to see what we have to do to go about getting this application. They have a meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock, a Zoom meeting. I will attend that and see what we go from there.
I can remember when we did that application for the pavilion, Dan, there's quite a bit of background information they need. I'm sure we can duplicate a lot of it from that application, but it was like, there was, I don't know, 50
Yeah, I have the
pages of,
application here, and it's pretty thick, yeah.
the income, the income rates of the township,
Right.
Even if-
But she said, the Sugar River girl sat down there, Freddie, Nancy, and me, and that was about an hour and a half meeting,
Yeah.
filling that thing out.
I'm sure.
But Sugar River Watershed, was so professional in this too, so.
And I believe they charged us $2,500 to do that, but if you got that loan, I would think it's probably worth it.
Yes, we got $40,000 from
Yeah.
what I remember,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. The only other thing I have is sad news. Yesterday I attended the wake of Enos Detweiler. Enos was a trustee in Troy Township when I first became a trustee. And he and I and Jack, and we worked very closely on bringing Shaw Road up to specs. I think it was one of the first times in township history that Auburn actually wanted to work with another township to get something accomplished, and Enos was a gentleman in guiding me on a lot of issues and what have you. I even played golf with him a few times. He was an avid golfer. He owned Jogga Meats. For those of you who don't know, he owned Jogga Meats. He also owns
Or Gmail.
Yeah, Burton Sheet.
Burton Sheet Metal, and so, yeah, he put in all my furnaces and air conditioning, and so it was, unfortunately, it was all of a sudden. He wasn't sick, had a massive heart attack, he was 81 years old, and so, it was very sad.
I just had that company out to give us a quote on where my brother's living,
Mhm.
and I was asking about Enos, and yeah, this shocked me to hear
Was a
that.
shock.
Yeah.
So that's it, that's the end of my reports.
Thanks, Gene. PJ?
Most of what I had here is on the agenda. We, at the last meeting, we punted on fixing 2 of the heaters at the road garage in lieu of just doing them all at once. And sure enough, that 2 of them at 8,000 multiplied out to 4 of them at 16,000. It's on the agenda, so I don't know if you want to do it now or later.
Yeah, might as well do it now.
Make it a motion.
Yeah, motion to accept the proposal from Stankus Heating and Cooling for 4 Solaronics heaters at $16,000.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Yeah, that's about all I had. I was gonna talk about the cemetery too, but Gene got it already, so. That's it.
Okay. Dan?
You know, does he even have his mic, his name taken off the reports?
He did.
All right, since the last meeting, processed 6 electronic payments. For $27,329.74, and processed 14 warrants for a total of $12,423.24, bringing the total expenditures $39,752.98. I received a email from our life insurance, Sun Life Insurance,
for our renewal policy, which expires the end of March, that we carry for our 9 full-time employees. I emailed last year's policy, which included the premiums, and this year's, so you can see a comparison. From what I could see, it looked like it was kind of a wash between the basic life and the short-term disability. Basic life went up a little, short-term disability premium went down a little, so it's still approximately $249 a month total for the 9 employees. I don't know if everybody had.
I did look at it, and I'm willing to vote if.
Yeah,
I get it.
it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the way the life insurance works is as you get older, the payable amount, which is the base amount is $10,000, then it drops to $6,700. You get a little older, it drops to $5,000, and then the premiums go down accordingly, and so that's why it all washed out. So yeah, it looked okay to me. So
I'll make a motion to accept the life
I'll
insurance
second.
policies.
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
I don't have to do anything, it'll automatically renew unless we wanted to change something, so. And the only other thing I had was, I got normally when I get emails from businesses, I usually delete them or toss them in the junk mail, but this guy followed up and with a phone call, and apparently what they are is they're called SE Blueprint. I think I forwarded you his email. What they do municipal record scanning and digitizing of municipalities' records, which is to protect against loss due to local circumstances, fire, flood, technical issues. I guess they're willing to come out and give us an estimate. I told them, well, we weren't budgeted for anything, so I have no idea what the cost would be, and not sure if the board is interested. And
I'm gonna assume that everything that we have on paper file is in folders upstairs, is that right?
I
Still.
believe so.
Yeah, but again, I mean, most of the stuff that we have currently now has all been
On the computer?
done in the word processors. It's been computerized. It's been, so I don't know how much it would really benefit, since
Right.
we've got most of our stuff's up on the cloud, at least the most current things.
That's what I thought too.
So we'll maybe table that till the end of the year, or if somebody we get some more information. But like I said, I mean, ultimately everything's going to be up on the cloud anyway, whether we're doing something like this or not.
That's all I have.
Okay.
One other thing. I got a email from Lori Sass in Bainbridge last week with the schedule for Safety Town, which does involve Auburn, along with Bainbridge, and so she forwarded me the whole flyer information for Safety Town, and I asked Nancy to put it up on our webpage so that people could see that.
You know, I gotta add to mine too, so we're getting all out of order here, aren't we? So, talked to Emmerich this morning, and you guys probably saw the requisition for the air dryer, $1,400 repair to Fenstermaker's truck. And Emmerich's truck right now is down in Cleveland with spring repairs. We had to have fall and stubbins take it down there. And we have that resolution over there for various roads. And we're expecting one at the next meeting for the issue 2 project that kind of popped up rather quickly at the end of last year. Because that one's supposed to be out for bid by June. So I kind of thought they'd come in a different order, but this is what we have tonight.
Okay. Well, Mr. Road Liaison, you want to handle it?
Okay, this is resolution of convenience and necessity for improvements of various roads, Bartholomew, Quinn, Edward, and Edinburgh. And this will be the first of 2 resolutions to commence that project. It's number 2024-02, and I'm gonna make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
DJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes.
This whole delegation thing works out great, man, cleaned everything up. The other thing we have left over, under the old business was the correspondence from the prosecutor regarding, the resolution on the cannabis issues, and again, I think I'm gonna table that as late as we possibly can to see, just kind of filter out what's gonna happen, and we have, at that point in time, we got another, 5 months or whatever on it, and just, let's see how everything filters out before we make any rash
Yeah, I
decisions.
kind of agree, we could jump up and down and make a statement, but that's all it is a statement, there's nothing enforceable or
Yeah,
in effect, so I would say let's wait for more information.
okay. All right. Comments from the audience? Duh.
Talking about cemeteries. My wife and I have an opportunity in summer, spring, and fall to walk next to my neighbors, my very quiet neighbors to the east. And noticed that, and I think I talked to you, TJ, at one time, a couple of years ago. The tombstones, the stones that are flat on the ground, that are on a concrete pillar, getting moved around. And I gotta believe it's the guys cutting grass. At least when I come home, you see them buzzing through there. They do a nice job of cutting, but they're a little, it appears to me they're a little wild with getting too close or hitting the tombstones. And all the war veterans that have their markers, most of those are bent anymore. I mean, I think they're getting run over almost. And I don't know if you guys have any way of putting a little bit of heat on them to slow down. Or, I know it is what it is, but I don't know if there's anything to do about it. Just want to make sure you all were kind of, just seems like it's getting worse every year. It just seems like those kind of things are getting beat up. And I mean, my father's and mother's tombstone, I've had to kick it and adjust it 3 times in the last couple of years, just because it gets bounced. You know, they're not glued to the concrete, so it gets bounced. And it's got, the only thing I can think of is the grass cutters coming and racking them. I should get some super glue out and glue it.
No, we will send them a letter and explain the situation. They've been very responsive,
I mean, I use them for the, we use them for the
If we
church.
flag them on this, I'm sure.
Just be a little more careful, I guess.
Yeah, we are due to see a proposal from them from,
Well, I figured, the last time we talked, it was the middle of the summer, I think, 2 years ago, and you
Yeah.
said, I'm kinda stuck, I don't, and I don't know if there's a lot of option out there for different vendors, but I know they're,
we're with a local
Yeah.
place now, and
and the church used the same people.
They have done a good job for us.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've done a nice job, it looks good. It always has looked good. Until you get a chance to walk around and see. And especially if we're putting money into some of these tombstones, it's
I
probably.
work with them more personally than probably anybody here. You want to just give them a call?
yes, and we are due a proposal from them. That usually comes in early February, so I don't know why it's not here yet.
Okay, well, I'll give you a perfect
So we
opportunity.
need to make a contact with them anyhow.
Just
Yeah.
figured I'd touch base with you.
Thanks, Mark.
I don't know if, I haven't walked this one, so I don't know if it's happening here as well, but this is a lot more.
There's a lot more contour around
Yeah,
here.
so it's probably
I don't
less.
think they can go quite so fast.
Yeah, I think it's less.
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem is, when Mark sees these, he goes and straightens them out.
Well,
We go out there, everything's fine, so how are we supposed to know to tell anybody there's a
well,
problem?
that's why I figured I'd better come down and talk to you direct.
You want us to do it, go out there at night and kick a few of them over, and then we'll have something to clean. Or put them back where you found them.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, man.
This gentleman back there.
Is the correspondence from the prosecutor publicly available or not yet regarding the marijuana issue?
Yeah, I mean, anything that they have that isn't, like I said, attorney kind privilege, then yeah, any of those other records should be a matter of public record.
I think the only actual thing that we've actually received from the prosecutor was when this whole thing passed, and that they were looking at what we could and could not do, And I think, like Mike said, the reason we're waiting is because even the state doesn't know what they're gonna do yet. And the motion was that we could prohibit, if we wanted to, from people actually selling it here, which to me, you know, I could prevent you from selling it, but yet you could each grow your own 6 plants at home, so I don't know what good that does, but
The state legislature is looking into something, right?
they're looking into it, but, you know, we have 4 breweries
Yeah,
in Auburn Township now, so,
and I don't
I
know.
mean, it's, and again, like Mike, and I think PJ too, I'm still caught between the issues. Do I agree with that law? No, I don't. I don't at all. But on the same hand, our residents voted it overwhelmingly.
Geauga County residents voted
So,
for it, yeah.
Well, the breweries and stuff are halfway home to being the Las Vegas of,
well, I mean, we're the
Geauga
beer
County.
capital of Geauga County now.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Like I said, I'd like Mike and PJ, I'd like to see what the state's gonna come up with before we make any decisions that may make us look foolish before we even get going here.
And we don't really have much.
We don't.
Clout, really,
No,
as a,
we don't.
as a trustee board.
Trust me, we can look foolish without the state's
Yeah,
help.
that's a fact, yeah. We do that pretty well on our own sometimes.
All right, any other comments? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Is that
Yes.
good time?
Okay, meeting minutes from last week too, that we